All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rekakwadash, giving double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopefully elect. Shalom to all the brothers out here laboring in this truth with sincerity. Shalom to the few sisters that watch. Just coming back with another lesson. Was inspired by an article as well as a clip on Instagram that I saw. Based on, the judgment that will be coming, upon the women, of America. You know, Soon the women of America will start to feel the pain and suffering that most women, around the world, especially in the Arabic, so-called Arabic lands, African lands, those women over there have absolutely no say-so in what goes on, and a lot of the time, those women are raped, harassed, things of that nature, and they have absolutely no say-so. So with that being said, we're going to get into an article as well as a clip, and then we're going to get into the lesson. So this clip, man, this guy, rolls up on this girl in the park or outside a complex or whatever, and she's with her kids. But, basically, man, Jake, he's bugged out. He's a creep. You could tell he's like a sexual pervert. But, this is just a small inkling of what's to come, man. Especially when all hell breaks loose during Jacob's trouble. So, we're going to share that as well as an article based off, the fires that took place in Hawaii. A lot of the women were sexually exploited, for survival. So this is what's coming to America, man. So let's get into let's look at this article. It says sexual exploitation and domestic violence soared after Lahaina wildfire report finds. Says exclusive 1 in 6 female survivors surveyed felt forced to engage in survival sex for necessities after 2023 catastrophic Hawaii fire. Man, and this is nowhere near the magnitude of Jacob's trouble. All these women out here, man, they want to, the first thing you see, man, if you're scrolling on Instagram, TikTok, even Facebook, man, the first thing they do, they show their faces and then they turn around, man, for you to look at them, for you to look at their asses, man. So they're putting themselves out there, not knowing who's on the other end of that video, stalking, lusting, ready to have a piece of that, man. They're not concerned about that because they're at ease. So we're gonna get into this article, but let's get into the scripture. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 32. So the time is coming, man, for hey, these women they gonna catch it. It's the book of Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 9. It says, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease." Matter of fact, let's go into this word ease. We pretty much know what it means. But
Strong's H 7600. Sha'anan.
It says ease, quiet, secure, at ease, secure, at ease, careless, wanton, arrogant. This is the best description of what we're talking about. At ease, careless, wanton, arrogant, security, pride, arrogance, one at ease, arrogance. And these women, are so prideful, and so arrogant. It's just sickening, man. This is one of the main reasons why the men of the Lord, really don't prefer, to deal with these women, especially the so-called black woman, at this point in time, man, because they're completely out of order. Now you can't tell the difference between a prostitute and a regular chick on a Friday night. They wearing the same clothes, man. When I was coming up, you could tell a woman that was working the street, but now you can't even tell, man. So these women are at ease. But what they fail to realize is that they got some sick individuals out here waiting, waiting, man, looking for the opportunity to take what they want. So this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 32 and verse 9. It says, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird up sackcloth upon your loins." So these women are going to be mourning, man. Soon to come, these women, they already mourning. Like 100,000 so-called black women lost their jobs within a month. And you see that is so many stores closing now. Rent is going up. Trump is coming after these women, coming after everybody for these student loans, which is mostly going to affect women because they're the one that pride themselves of having an education, of being so-called educated. Food stamps about to be cut off. So it's about to get ugly out here, and we ain't even in Jacob's trouble yet. So let's get into this article. I really didn't even read the whole article. Once I saw the heading, I just figured it'd be a good time to bring this lesson out. It says sexual exploitation and domestic violence soared after the catastrophic Lahaina wildfire in 2023, with pre-existing gender inequalities exposed and exacerbated by the post-disaster response, new research has found. It says in the weeks and months after the deadliest American fire in a century, 1 in 6 female fire survivors surveyed felt forced to engage in sexual acts in exchange for basic necessities such as food, clothing, and housing. Immigrant women and other limited English speaking felt particularly isolated and unsafe in emergency shelters, with some sleeping with their children in vehicles or engaging in survival sex for a safer place to stay, according to the new report of Tang Nawa, a Filipino feminist disaster response organization in Hawaii, shared exclusively with The Guardian. And it goes on. The article goes on, man. But we pretty much get the gist of it. So these women, they had to do what they had to do. So let's see. Hey, Isaiah 4:1 is definitely right around the corner, man. Isaiah 4:1 is one catastrophic event from happening. Jacob's trouble. So let's go to the book of Zechariah, chapter 14. It says, let's see, yeah. Shalaki. Come on, man. Book of Zechariah chapter 14 and verse 1, it says, behold, the day of the Lord Yahweh cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. You know, thy spoil shall be divided. So let's go into spoil. Prey, plunder, spoil, booty. Prey, booty, spoil, plunder. So, you know, treasure or valuables shall be divided, and women are not exempt. You know, that's why they call, hey, booty. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about a woman, that's the first thing Jake really go for, man. The booty. You know that. Hey, the term now is you know talking about a woman's ass, but you know, in present time, man, that's these women's treasure, man. That's what they love. They're going to get BBLs to enhance that. You know, so that's gonna be somebody's treasure. So let's see. It says, verse 2, for I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and half of the city shall go forth in captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. So we're going to go to the NLT to make it a little more plain, you know, for the people to see, you know, for whoever's, you know, brothers know, but, you know, if somebody knew. So this book of Zechariah chapter 14 and verse 1 in the NLT, it says, watch for the day of the Lord Yahweh is coming when your possessions will be plundered right in front of you. Hey, if you're married, you know, you got a woman, in that day, if somebody's stronger than you or got guns, weapons, if they want your lady, they gonna take her. You know, and if you're a single woman in that day, and somebody want what you got, your valuables, your body, whatever, they gonna take it. It says, I will gather all the nations to fight against Jerusalem. The city will be taken, the houses looted, and the women raped. And now you see it. That's what it says, raped. Half the population will be taken into captivity, and the rest will be left among the ruins of the city. So during Jacob's trouble, this is going to take place. You know, this is going to take place, man. You know, so, you know, we're not glorifying. We're just warning. You know, it's time to come back to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and understand what's about to happen. You know, many people don't understand what's about to go down. You know, it's about to get real ugly out here. So we're going to go to the book of 2 Timothy. But first, we're going to get that video clip of this creep. So let's see.
Huh? I'm okay.
You got strong genes. They look just like.
Huh?
You got strong genes. They look just like.
Your shoes on, Baba?
Beautiful day.
You ready to go bye-bye? Are you going to eat your food with them or not? Here, eat that.
You single?
Huh? No, I'm married.
You need some sex. You need some stimulation.
Huh?
You need some attention and stimulation.
No, I'm good.
I already know, so it's okay though. And it's without judgment. You deserve attention. Time.
I got my kids with me. You being disrespectful. Yeah, but personal space, the things you saying, that's like.
All right, so basically she got scared and left, you know. But in that day, when all hell is breaking loose, and a guy like that is on the prowl, you know, he gonna go for what he know. He don't care if her kids are with her or not. You know, if he see something he want, he gonna take it. You heard him say that she needs stimulation. He needs stimulation. You know, he's talking about sexually. So in that day, she potentially would have been ravished right there on the spot. Kids right there or not. So this is what's coming, man. You got people like this lurking the streets right now. You got people like this living across the hall from you right now. So to the women out there, man, it's time to turn back to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And we know this is strictly for the elect. But, you know, it's time to get out of that party spirit, man. You know, most of these women are in that fun spirit. All they think about is fun, fun, fun. You know, if it's something serious, they want to avoid that. But the time is coming. You say difficult times will come. It says, this is the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1. It says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And that guy was a lover of pleasure. And these guys that's going to be lovers of pleasures are going to take action to please themselves. You know, verse 5, it says, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. For of this sort are they which crept into houses and led captive silly women, laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts. And these are the false prophets, man. You know, people like Bishop Nate, Genesis, you know, that these people that cater to women, that's not being truthful to women of what's to come, you know. Hey, from Apostle to on down, man, the men of GMS, the leadership of GMS, man, we have been, you know, hey, man, they've been talking about this for years, man. You know, they've been talking about this for years. Isaiah 4:1, you got Bishop Nate that's talking about that's in the kingdom, man. You know, tell those women in Hawaii that. You know, they would have loved to be with a man of the Lord that wouldn't take advantage of them in that day, that particular day. But this just shows you what's to come. You know, so these false prophets out here are leading these women astray. You know, silly women laden with sins that don't want to hear the truth. So it says, ever learning, but never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. They want to hear smooth things, man. They want to hear smooth things. Bishop Nate is not teaching you the name. Who are you going to call in that day when you run across a guy like the guy on that bike? Who you going to call on? Jesus? Buddha? You going to be ravished, man. All right. So that's pretty much it. We're gonna close it out. But speaking on the name, we're gonna go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, and just go to verse 10. It says, "The name of the Lord Yahweh is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe." So this is strictly for the elect. The elect men, first and foremost, starting with 144,000, and then the rest, men, women, children that fall in place after that. But hey, it's some dark times coming, So this was just a quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Lord willing, it was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rekakwadash. Shalom.